Hey everybody, welcome to StouryTime. I'm your host, John. Today we have a great episode for you. My friend Christian Adams makes his return. Christian wanted to share more about his experience of touring across Australia, as well as meeting his birth mother for the first time. This was a lot of fun. These were all stories that I hadn't heard of before. And yeah, I feel like people are going to get to know him quite a bit more from this episode. Make sure you check out all of his musical projects and everything he's got going on. His new band, Jewel Tone, has released a EP, which is great. It's awesome. It's a really good record. I definitely recommend giving that a listen. Anything else he's got going on, I will leave down in the comments or in the description below. You can contact him in any way you need to. Check out Thread Force, Hotel Etiquette, which he's playing drums for, Fake Space. He's got a lot going on. So definitely show him some support. And enjoy the episode.
We were pissing neon green every day.
That big ball of heat in the sky was too much. I thought there was a bear.
Reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to
Welcome to
StouryTime.
StouryTime.
When was the last time you went on tour?
Oh, man. Was that Save Face Tour? 2000... Oh, shit. 6 years ago? I want to say 6 years ago. Yeah, because we got back from that tour and we were just like so defeated. Mm-hmm. We were sick of doing the DIY thing because we showed up to one show and it was just like this sick bar in Worcester. And I think Charlie talked about this a little bit. He mentioned it, but there was like this great venue in the back. And they had dollar PBRs. Mm-hmm. And you go in the front, and it like come showtime, the back venue, not a single person walked in. But when you walk in the front, I may be exaggerating, maybe 100 people.
It was packed.
You couldn't walk. Like there was that many people.
Yeah.
And we still played because you're like, hopefully they'll come in and check it out. And people would like, and then walk out.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I have to pay. I'm not coming in kind of thing. Which at that point, it's like, just let them in if we're not going to get paid. You know, but we were just super defeated after that, and we were like, all right, when we get home, we're selling the van. So then we got home, and then all the shit happened that, but
it's hard, man. It's hard.
It's just such a struggle.
Yeah.
Like, you go through it for so long, and we did it for 8 years, and it was just like, what are we doing now? Like, why are we still even trying kind of thing? So that was tough.
Damn.
That was like, and it's especially weird now, like thinking about it, because like, especially with this podcast, it's like I share all these stories, but like, I'm so far removed. I did a podcast with Sean Gorse, on Saturday and over Zoom.
Oh, it's so sick.
And he was just like, in the beginning, he was like, yeah, it's crazy because you asked me to think of these stories, and like, I came up with a few, but I just don't feel like I'm that person. He's like, I'm so far removed that it's like hard to remember the details.
Yeah.
And I can't place myself in the situation anymore. He said that and I was like, oh, dude, that's exactly how I feel.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Because we're so far removed from it, I would love to do weekend stuff here and there, but that ain't happening anymore.
Weekends for sure.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself, I think, me personally, dude, I think about it all the time. I miss it all the time. And I oftentimes think that maybe I'm kind of like still just attached to not necessarily who I was like back then, but like where I was, what I was doing and stuff like that, and that's kind of tough. Like I feel like sometimes I just gotta like let things go.
Yeah, it's hard, man, because that was like speaking for myself, like that defined me for so long.
Yeah. Right.
And
we're band dudes.
Yeah,
we
dude.
do.
And like you're a musician, you've been doing it your whole life. This year's 28 years drumming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
28 years.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a single other thing besides things that I needed to do to survive to make it this long.
Yeah, like breathing.
Yeah, breathing, fucking eating and drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that defined me for so long that like I find now like when I'm talking to guys I work with, just because it's like you get bored, you make friends, get to know people. Like that's just what I talk about. And they're like, you could tell some of them are like, oh, here we go again. But I'm like, then talk.
Yeah.
Change the subject, because like that was such a big part of my life. What do I have to talk about now? I wake up, I go to work, I come home. Sometimes I shoot a podcast. I do it all over again. Like, what do you know what's going on in my life because I was here less than 12 hours ago, you know?
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy. I feel that way too, like just not knowing what to talk about or try to connect with people on sometimes, because like at my job, dude, like there's a lot of younger people at my job. It's a big generation like gap. So I mean, dude, like these kids speak in memes.
Are they a lot younger than you? Like early 20s?
Some of them are like, early 20s.
Really?
Yeah. They're young. I don't know, dude. It's just interesting because, I'm not going to be like, I haven't really told anybody on my team about the music stuff. I really kind of just keep it to myself.
Yeah, but you do that shit and they're going to be like, he's so cool.
Man, I don't know. But
dude, listen, I'll go ahead and say it. I've had this discussion with multiple people. You are the best bassist out of Buffalo.
Oh,
easily.
come on,
Hands
dude.
down. I don't know. Like, aside from who the was that dude? That old guy. That was just
Billy Sheehan?
Yeah, that dude.
He's
a different. That's different.
Story.
Yeah. I mean, our generation, easily.
Oh man.
Easily, hands down, the greatest bassist in Buffalo.
Bro, I appreciate you.
There is no question. I don't think anyone can claim that they would even like be remotely close to what you're capable of, because I've seen you work. I played with you. I've been in with you, and it's like you just get it.
Thank you.
You don't overplay. You play what's necessary, and you play what makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's great too.
Thank you so much.
Like the little runs and shit you do at times. It's like that was cool, because most people would have just went on the D or whatever and just fucking played out that in quarter notes or whatever.
Sure.
And that's, you have that ear of like, and that vision of, oh, I can dance around a bit and it'll be tasteful. And I can't give you enough praise with that.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
It's a lot of fun when I do end up getting to play with you, you know, when we do. But
thank you. I do. Well, I'm thinking about John Vaughn, dude. So the two,
he's great too.
Yeah,
I'd say he's number 2.
He's awesome, bro. So there's two dudes in mind right now who are just like the gnarliest bass players in my mind. It's John Vaughn and my man Mike Daganese. Do you know Mike Dags?
I don't think so.
Mike Daganese. I can't think of like who he's played with in the past. He used to play in the Slums.
Oh, I
remember that guy?
Shit, I'm trying to remember.
Jake was playing, and then Mike came in after.
Yes.
Dude, Dags is crazy on bass. He's playing with us in Hotel Etiquette right now.
Shout out Hotel Etiquette.
Shout out. Dude, he is such a solid bass player. It's
dude, that's another thing. Okay. All right, hold on. You drum now too. And you're not like, it's not like I don't watch you and I'm like, oh, this guy, oh, another guy who thinks he can drum. No, dude, you're drumming.
Thank you.
You're playing great. Like you're great.
It's so, dude.
And you play guitar. Fuck you. All right.
Dude, but honestly, you've always been one of the tightest drummers I've ever seen.
I appreciate that.
And then trying to take on drums as a challenge, you realize so much about like the work that it requires. You really can't just sit down on a kit and just play it. Like, we haven't really done Hotel Etiquette stuff for, I don't know, it's been about a year. And as we've been jamming again, and since we started jamming, I've had to take the time to be like, okay, I'm going to designate time whenever I can each week to practice.
Right.
Because if you don't fucking practice, like you suck. Even like really good drummers, like you just have to like dust it off and just get in there and just work.
I would say personally, like I was a great drummer. I'm not in it as much, So I definitely feel personally that I have lost chops.
Got practice.
But that's exactly. But I just don't have time.
You could do it.
Shooting podcasts, bro.
Yeah. shooting podcasts. You're a family man.
I'm about to be
future
dude.
Fucking Congratulations.
Thank you. Little baby girl on the way.
Love that.
Oh,
I love
can't
that.
wait, man. I'm so excited.
That's really cool.
I'm okay. I am scared, but I was like, it's got to be the first one's got it, because we'd like to have to. Like the first one's got to be a boy, and then it's not a boy. I was like,
what if no? What if no?
What if no?
Yeah. What if it's not a boy? Oh, it's not a boy.
It's not a boy. It's a girl. Yeah. I'm all right with it. I was happy either way.
Yeah.
And like, what's funny too is like, you ever go down like the Reels rabbit hole where you just like scroll
Forever,
like
yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
All of mine are girl dads,
Mm-hmm.
and it's dads with their baby girls, and like the fun things they do, or the excitement of the little baby girl when she gets home, or like, oh, he's sneaking candy or whatever, and I'm like, I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a shit about like filming it. I don't care about that. I just can't wait to do it and
The experience.
mold this person, this little baby, this little human being into like this mini me and mini Jen,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And see who that person is going to be.
For sure.
And what they enjoy and love, and like hopefully the Bills. Like,
Hopefully, yeah.
That's all I care about. And maybe Star Wars. But
Dude, my girlfriend and I, we are very much like, no, we do not want kids. And it's just not even a part of our thing. And we're both like on the same page with it for sure. But a month ago or so, she decided, or she agreed to like babysit for like a couple hours, just one of her friend's kids. And I think that her baby is like 7 months or something like that. Old enough now that she's like she's starting to walk.
Yeah.
And she's like
the scary shit.
the scary shit. She's walking and she's looking at you and she's like, okay, you're a thing. I recognize things and I'm starting to, know, and, I came home and like just chilled with them for like a little bit because like her friend was there to pick her up. But in that few just brief minutes of being there with the child, dude, like she looked at me and she sees me, dude. Usually like when a baby sees me, instantly like freaking out, crying. People always say it's because of my mustache.
Yeah.
But no, dude, she sees me from across the room and she's looking at me and I'm like, oh, she's going to cry. She starts crawling over to me and she crawls right up to me looking at me. And I was like, hey, and I put my hand out and she just like, and crawled away. And I was in that moment for me was like, holy fuck.
How to be a dad.
Like, dude, I really like for a moment, I was like, oh my God, like this might be an amazing part of life that who knows. But, and even I think that Jess had like a similar like experience, just like babysitting. But obviously there's so much more in, I don't know that we're like really ready or,
I don't know that I'm ready, but I'm excited and I know I wanted kids, but it's like, I'll put it this way. There's a kid in my class, a dude in my class who just had a kid over the summer. And I was talking to him. He's like, congratulations, man, whatever. And he's the one that I've been talking to the most because he just went through it. Like all this shit. Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, I don't know. Like I've been telling her, like, let's hold off. We're not ready. And he's like, you're never ready. Like you could say, oh, I want to be more financially stable. But the moment you get more financially stable, you're going to purchase or invest in something else that's going to bring you back to where you were, and you're not going to be financially stable. So you either need to just make the decision, take the dive, and then you'll make it work. Yeah. And you'll be fine regardless. Or you just don't have them at all, kind of thing.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone is ever really truly ready. Even people that think that they are. I wonder if they really, maybe they're not.
Nobody knows what they're getting into with the first one, right? So, I wanted to say, or actually ask questions. We kind of went over it pretty quickly, but back to music. Hotel etiquette. What's in store? Like I know there's a new record that was recorded. I'm having Mike on soon, so I don't want to get too far in depth. But like, you guys have any shows in the future coming up, or like plans, or?
Dude, really, honestly, right now we have just been. He finished up some new material in the studio. We've just been like ripping, dude, just jamming and practicing and getting nice and tight. We did like a really cool like live studio thing last week.
Was that with Quiet Country?
It was at Quiet Country Audio, yeah. So that's gonna be really cool. We did it with our boy Sal. His band was in there too. He also plays guitar in Hotel Etiquette.
That's Gato Black.
Gato Black, yeah.
Black.
So we did a set with
his
his
record's
band.
great.
Yeah, dude, his stuff is awesome.
He sent me that stuff a little bit early because I think he posted one of the songs, and I was the first one. He like the single. He posted a clip, and I was like, what do I gotta do? Like,
Yeah.
give me the record. I love this.
Yeah.
And then he sent it to me. I was like, dude, this is so good. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Like, it's got that like early to mid 2000s like screamo vibe.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's super nostalgic.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. So we did that, and honestly, like both bands, dude, I'm really excited to see like what we get into like for the summer and for the for the rest of the future. Yeah.
So what's going on with Fake Space?
Dude, I haven't written a single I haven't even thought about it.
Yeah.
I haven't even
like
thought of it.
hiatus kind of thing.
Kind of, man. Honestly, like my focus has really shifted as far as like musically, like what I'm doing musically. It's been, dude, mostly I've just been riffing, man, just riffing and making heavy, hardcore stuff.
What's that? What was the name of that one? You guys just came up with the name, right?
Yeah.
Is it Solidified?
Yeah.
Like that's the name?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's called Jewel Tone.
Jewel Tone. I love that name.
Jewel Tone. Featuring your boy.
Hell yeah.
Jordan Walker from Dishonored. He plays
Okay.
drums, incredible drummer, and my boy Neftali.
Okay.
He was in a hip hop group that just did their final performance a couple weeks ago, but they're called Freak the Mighty.
Oh, they're done?
They're done. Yeah.
Why are they done?
I don't know. I guess they just felt like I don't know. They've been doing it for like 6 years or so, and both of them like on their own rap and make songs on their own.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that they
It just played its course.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
still friends and they're cool.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, let's just wrap it up, and
Yeah.
we'll I'm sure they'll still make songs together,
Right.
and
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I'm really excited to play with these guys. I really wanted to like mix it up and play with some different people, and yeah, like I said, so like this hardcore project has been like my main focus musically. That and just trying to play the drums because, dude, it's what a challenge. It is, dude. Like, I don't know. And Mike Hansen, as you know, crazy drummer. Like, dude, some of his songs are just fucking. Oh my god.
He's just stupid musically.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
Like guitar, bass, everything.
Yeah.
He's just a talented person. I've always been like, I want to do that. That's what I want. I want to write. I have songs here,
Yeah.
and I dabble on guitar. I like can dabble on piano, but I used to play piano, but it's been so long. But there is no way in hell, I've tried, that I can sit down and just put it down. Like I just can't do it. Like drums that's all I got. I could sing, I can do all that shit, but like when it comes to being creative and writing, when it comes to sitting down and actually doing it, it's like this just empties out. And I'm like, what do I do kind of thing? So
It's tough, dude. It's tough. And sometimes, I mean, me personally, I'll find that like I have the most success producing songs when I'm not even trying that hard.
yeah.
If I can just like somehow get myself in a state of like not thinking too hard about
Right.
it, even it's
It's that less is more mentality.
yeah, but it's always like a different like thing too. Like every song I make or anything I make, it's just always a different. There's no real set, thing. It's like there's always different ways to make songs.
Right,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
totally do it.
Yeah. I know I could, but we'll see. I'm gonna have some time off
You
pretty
got
soon.
time. You got
I'm gonna have
time.
some time off pretty soon.
Yeah.
4 months.
I like that.
All right, man. So you we were talking the other day. You said you would love to be back on. I asked you if you wanted to come back, and you said you've actually had some more ideas of stories that you had thought of since the last time, which
Yeah.
was also a great episode. If you have not listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode. It's a great episode.
Yeah, dude. So it was 2015 or 2016, and I was in 3 bands at the time, dude. It was Super American, Well Kept Things, and Burn Book. So I was slinging all 3, and I don't know, dude. I don't remember like at the time exactly what I was like going through, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna like quit all of my bands. Like I don't know if this is like my thing anymore. And that's always, I mean, I've had times like that in the past where it's like, I'm just mostly depressed and it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm, whatever. Well, those 3 bands for me, like we played like our final shows and that was it. And then that, not any band, right? 3 days later, I ran into I ran into Tom Falcone, my little brother.
Shout out Tom.
Shout out Thomas.
He's been on the pod as well.
I ran into Thomas and we were just chatting it up. And then the next day, they called me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to go to Australia to do a full Australia tour?" And I was just like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, whatever." And I got off the phone and I stood there. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I called them back and I was like, "Dude, yes, of course, like, duh, yes. Obviously, I want to go, yes."
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so I got to do that with them. We rehearsed for however long. Dude, when they hit me up and asked me if I wanted to go to Australia to play with them, I told my parents about it. And mind you, like, my parents, like, my whole life, they haven't really, like, they never really fucked with, like, the music thing. They were always like, "All right, like, when are you going to go back to college?" You know what I mean? Like,
typical like parents that want to see you succeed.
Of course. Like, they just were not into any of the band shit ever. So I went to them. I was like, "Yo, like in August, like, I'm going to Australia. Like, we're doing a full Australian, like a whole tour of Australia." And they were like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure that, like, they're not, like, just messing with you?" And it was like,
Why would they mess with me?
dude, I don't know. It's so doofy, but, like, I don't know. Maybe they just, like, I don't know. Since they never really were, like, into it, like, maybe they just, like, I don't know. They just, like, couldn't believe that, like, you know, that there are, like, opportunities.
It's an unbelievable thing if you're not in that realm too.
Yeah, and they really didn't, like, believe it until, like, the day of, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a ride to the airport?"
Yeah.
I have to go. And so then actually at that point, it was like they were actually pretty, like, cool about the music thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Made a little more sense for them. And whatever. So yeah, dude, we go to Australia and it's like a dream come true, honestly. I mean, it was like their winter at the time, so it was like raining and cold, but dude, like, I was on cloud nine. I had never been to Australia before, and never really thought that I'd ever get the chance to go either.
Yeah.
But we go and it's great.
You didn't even have to be in the band to go, man.
Yeah, right. Somehow, like, just from all the flying, because the flight, first of all, just to get there, it's like 25 hours of flying.
Wait, really?
Dude, it took an entire day.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, that would make sense.
We flew from, like, Buffalo to, I think we had to fly from here to, like, somewhere, and then we had to go to L.A., and then from L.A. to New Zealand.
So it was probably because of all the layovers. That's why it took so long.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then, like, while you fly to Australia, you basically kind of, like, are time traveling.
Literally.
Yeah, because it's like 14-hour. I think
ahead?
it's a 14-hour difference.
Is it ahead or behind?
They're ahead. Yeah,
Ahead.
yeah, they're ahead. So, like, now, like, when it's my birthday, I'll have, like, my friends from Australia hitting me up the day before my birthday to say, "Hey, happy birthday," or whatever. Yeah, it's always funny. Dude. So yeah, and actually, after all the flying and traveling, and we finally, like, settle in and get to a hotel finally. I remember, and this is honestly one of my fondest memories of playing. And we were so tired, we were all stoned, and we're all laying in bed watching the Olympics. This is the year that I'm pretty sure it was, like, Simone Biles', like, debut to the Olympics. Okay. And we were watching Simone do her thing in the Olympics.
Like
crushing, absolutely doing the craziest shit, and all of us are just laying there like, have you ever seen something, or like something so amazing, or you just get so excited about something that you just laugh hysterically, dude? Like, that's how we were. Like, we were just all laying there watching, just, like, freaking out watching this girl, like, do her thing. And yeah, that, like I said, one of my fondest memories, because, I mean, I don't know. It was one of the few times that we were, like, laughing and like having a good time.
Yeah. Everybody all at the same time in unison was enjoying themselves.
Yeah. And nobody is being a dick in that moment. Yeah, dude. So, I mean,
Which, let me preface this real quick. If you've never been in a touring band, if you've never been in a touring band, it does not matter how close you are to the people that you are with. You are going to butt heads, especially when you're stuck in a van for 12 hours a day, if not longer, maybe shorter, whatever. And you see each other every day, all day for 30 days straight. You want to rip each other's heads off.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's why it takes a lot for a band to actually do it and succeed and continue doing so. But sorry, continue.
No, you're right though. I mean, I miss being in a band where it's like we're all homies, and you know what I mean. My dudes we're all homies now, but you know what I mean. Like when you're in a thing where you're like where everyone belongs and like no one's an asshole, like yeah, that's always a special thing.
With having that same set goal of like we're going to tour and do it. It's rare to find that. You know, I was lucky with the traditional.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I would ever find another band that would last that long and go at it that hard, you know.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing. It's really not, you know.
Yeah.
You're always going to butt heads with somebody at some point. It's just whether it's how that person reacts, how you react, and where it goes from that point.
Yeah, it can be about the dumbest shit too.
Yes. Yeah. So you guys were all enjoying yourselves, watching Vials.
Yeah, we found weed like instantly somehow. That was like top priority.
Is that legal there?
No, I don't think. No, it's definitely not. But our boy Scotty Mack, who was our TM,
allegedly,
he was a resident of Australia, so he like knows every city, and he was taking care of us. But he like knew where to get weed every day.
Okay,
which was awesome. There were some days where we had to like throw weed out or flush it in the toilet because every day all the cities in Australia are like super spread out. It's like super long drives to get to each city, maybe like a day drive. Sometimes I don't know exactly how long the drives were, but
is it like states like kind of thing? I know nothing about Australia.
Kind of. I mean, dude,
you're crossing borders,
sort of.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of open land.
Yeah.
So really, like, I kind of wish we would have driven at times because what we did, dude, and I mean, this was, it was, so I mean, we've, you and I have toured like in vans always, but like in this case, dude, we were every day we wake up and you got to check out of the hotel, drive the rental van to drop it off. Get to the airport, fly, land, pick up a rental, go to the hotel, check in, chill, play a show. And the next day it's the same thing. So every day we're flying, and every day we're checking in to get a rental, and every day we're trying to like get to, the shows on time and stuff like that. Dude, the band that we had supporting us, like, they were late every day because the drive is so far. The drives between cities are so far.
Yeah. Were they leaving at the same time?
Maybe. But they were late every day.
It sounds like
every fucking day.
Somebody was fucking up somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Are you still close with those dudes? You used to like talk to those dudes? Or?
Some of them, dude. Yeah. Scotty Mack, he plays in a couple bands right now that they tour the U.S. all the time. So like I'll actually take little trips to go see him. Like, I don't know. It's usually like Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh. So I'll take like a drive to Pittsburgh if they're playing in Pittsburgh, and I'll go see them or whatever.
Nice. So they were late every day.
Every day they're late, which like wasn't a big deal. We weren't really bummed about that, you know.
Was there anything that happened? Like, did anybody play pranks on each other? Like, was there anything that like, aside from the koala bears, which we've already heard about, what is like the most memorable, funniest moment that could be not funny to anybody else, but you guys just had a freaking like ball or moment of it? Because it just was unbelievable or something crazy or anything like that.
Well, we always would like play like pranks on like our support bands. Like, I don't know, the last show of the tour, like we did this thing where the drummer, they're playing their last song and we just start taking off take
The
apart the
drums.
drum
Yeah,
kit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That was always the thing we do. Dude, Jeff Zum in particular is just like a class clown.
He really is.
He-
I got to get him on here too.
Yeah, for sure. He's got probably like infinite stories. But Jeff Zum, man, like every single day I was getting fucked with by Jeff one way or another. I for some reason, dude, this one thing just sticks out in my mind. We and this wasn't on the Australia tour, but he like would just like fuck with my shit sometimes. One time we were out and like I'm laying in my bunk and I'm like rolling around or whatever and fixing my pillow and I feel this stick. There's just a stick from outside from a tree in my pillowcase. And I pulled it out and I knew it was him and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he goes, dude, I put that in your pillowcase like a week ago.
That's awesome.
I somehow for a week I'd been sleeping with that pillow and didn't know that there was just a little branch in there.
You were just so stoned you didn't feel anything.
Yeah, somehow
or
just-
realize it. Yeah.
Right. Oh God.
Love that.
I love that. Yeah, dude, Jeff is such a goofball.
I was
man.
when Tom was on, I was talking to him. I was like, he was saying basically the same shit. How he brought up a story about like one of their sound guy or something. He would take his laptop and like
Yep.
pull something up. So when the guy opened it, it would like right there, and
Yep.
there would always be people behind him. I was like, oh my god, like whatever it was. Like he
Yeah.
didn't explain what it was. I'm sure it was some like vile or
Oh.
ridiculous porn or something.
It was
in the
always
ba-
porn. Yeah, it was always like really,
yeah,
gnarly
like
porn.
raunchy porn or something.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, did he? I was like, so do you know the cigarette game? He's like, what do you mean? Did he ever do this to you? Where he take a cigarette and just graze you?
Make you think that he's burning you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was burning you.
He
it just
would do it.
wasn't a lot because it
my
wasn't like it would
God.
hurt because he would just graze you and you'd feel the heat.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be enough to like actually injure you. Be like, what the? And he's like, oh, what? What? He's got a cigarette in his hand like this. He's like, what?
Oh my God, dude,
Jeff, fuck off.
Yeah,
Like,
I loved playing in a band with Jeff, dude. Jeff Zum is so fucking funny and hands down like the wittiest person I know.
Yeah.
Just witty. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
so quick with just the hilarious shit.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, playing in a band with that dude was hilarious. So there was one show that we played in Australia, and it was like we played the same room 2 days in a row.
Sold out both nights? Or?
Yeah, sold out. And the second night, there's always a song halfway through the set where Tom and I walk off, and then it's just Jeff and Homeboy doing an acoustic song. And so, like, Thomas and I go backstage or whatever. And, dude, like, I walked off stage, and, like, somehow, like, in that moment, I had realized, like, dude, like, I'm in Australia and doing something really fucking cool. Scotty Mack was like the first person there, and dude, I just started crying, and I just hugged the shit out of him, and I was
great.
like, dude, like you don't fucking understand. Like I work at a fucking skate shop at home, and like I like just quit all my bands like for whatever reasons, and like this is just, you know what I mean? It's just is all of a sudden hitting me, and it's like this is a big deal, and I
Yeah,
love you, and
absolutely.
thank you. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
It was a crazy moment, dude. It was literally.
I guarantee too, because it sounds like he's one of the ones you stay like the closest with
Yeah,
from there.
yeah.
That's why you had that moment and you shared a special moment with him, and he was there for the moment that
Yeah.
you were in that sudden realization. So I guarantee that's why you guys are still close, because that no matter what, you'll never forget that moment.
Yeah.
And I guarantee he won't either, because he's like, oh, Christian just got off stage and started crying.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I mean, dude, Scotty Mack is a dude who, like, he tours
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. Like, and for the longest time, he was a tour manager, but now he plays in bands. But he's been touring for years. So, yeah, I'm sure part of him was just like, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm sure at the same time, he probably understood, though.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, like, you weren't in that band, like, from the start.
Yeah.
If I don't really know if it, like, were you officially a member of the band when you were doing the tours, or you were just a hired gun for the tours?
I mean, I guess it was initially a hired gig.
But it's like, you've never, they were doing, like, arenas at one point.
They
You
were,
weren't
yeah.
in the band at that time.
No, I wasn't.
So this was a dream come true, for a lack of a better term, but like
Yeah.
literally a dream come true for you because you've never been there, you never thought you'd get there or anything, and now here you are.
Yeah.
And kids give a shit about what you're doing.
Dude, it was exactly that. It was
Yeah.
it was a dream come true. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
It was super overwhelming, and somehow, yeah, in that moment, that's like when I realized, and it just hit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because really, like we were so busy with just traveling, just flying, driving, everything. You know, trying to like. I mean, I lost my luggage at one point at the airport. Like, there's just all kinds of things that you're thinking about and worrying about. You know what I mean? But
It's distracting you from what's really going on in front of you too.
for sure,
Yeah. Plus any other bullshit that may have happened or like any arguments or whatever too. You know, like I'm sure you guys weren't all buddy the whole time.
Yeah.
There were days you guys probably fucking hated each other and then days that you loved each other, you know?
Oh my fucking God. I don't know how many times like Thomas and I would just get to a new city and just be like, all right, we're going for a long walk. You know what I mean? Just go for a long walk.
Where are you going? I don't know. We'll let you know when we get there.
Anywhere. Anywhere else. Yeah. It actually, Thomas, while we were there, we played the show. I'm pretty sure we were in Melbourne. It's spelled Melbourne, but they pronounce it Melbourne. We were in Melbourne, and we played, and we were all fucking trashed because, you know, as you do, you have a couple pops at the rock show.
Road sodas, you know. Couple
Dude,
2-3
all of
pops.
us are super drunk, including our boy Scotty Mac.
Okay.
Thomas,
Was he driving?
He was driving. And I don't know if you know, but in Australia, the steering wheel is on the opposite
side.
side, and the lanes are on the opposite side. So little Tom was the only one who was sober. So Thomas was the one to drive us back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I remember him just driving, and all of us are just like, oh, like, you know, taking turns. We're like, what happens? What's gonna happen? Because even now, like, I don't know if I imagine like driving on the opposite side of the street. I can't really imagine it. I don't know.
I don't think I could. I know I could do it, but I can't imagine it.
Yeah, I would mostly just not watch because it's freaky.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be on, like, in the car, the driver's side has to be the opposite side if it's going to be opposite side of the road too.
Yeah.
Because that would just be like your depth perception.
I think the steering wheel for every vehicle should just be in the middle. Why is it on one side of the fucking thing? Why isn't it not in the middle? Right in the middle, you know?
I don't know, but like you saying that, I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
It's like, why is it? Absolutely not.
No, obviously no, but you know, like instead of
Actually-
like sitting side by side, we all sit in a line forward.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Not to get sidetracked. This
Yeah.
is, but I did actually see a video the other day of a woman getting in a vehicle,
Yeah.
and it was like a McLaren or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know exactly what it was. It looked like a race car, and it was a race car. It literally was like she got in the front seat, the driver's side,
Yeah.
hit a button, and it was like turbo mode, and it took her to the center of the vehicle.
That's
the
what I'm-
whole thing moved over, and then she fucking bolted. And I was like, that's not right.
That's what I'm saying though. Like that's what it should be. I think
If
the
you're a
driver
race car-
the driver should be in the middle of the vehicle.
Well, yeah, because you're
Center.
You're the most safe
You know what I'm saying?
area. You flip the car or anything, you get hit, you're not going to die,
Right.
but be very uncomfortable if you got somebody in the front with you.
For sure. Oh my gosh. I told you about the koalas and the sanctuary and
Well,
all
real
that
quick,
shit.
hold on. So you were saying Tom was driving. Did
drove
anything
us.
happen with that? Or you
Nothing
just made
happened.
it.
We made it, and it was fine. It
Okay.
was not a big deal at all. But we were all just like, oh! You know?
I love that.
And we got there just fine. It was
Yeah.
fine. And I don't know what would have happened if we would have gotten pulled over. You know, I don't know like what.
Yeah, would his license count?
No.
Well, no, it would have to. When we went to Europe, we went to Italy for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
I could have rented a vehicle. You have a license. Just because it's not their license doesn't mean it's not valid.
I have no
You know
idea.
how to drive a vehicle. You were trained in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can go to Europe or any other country and just rent a vehicle.
Weird.
Like, think about it. When you get out of an airport,
Yeah.
anywhere you go, there's a line at the freaking rental.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So quite literally, he was fine.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't
It's
know.
super weird.
I can't imagine going somewhere like Australia and just being like, I need a car. I'm just going to drive everywhere. I don't know.
Did you find yourself like there's some like when we would go down south, Anthony would I don't know why. We would give him so much shit for this.
Yeah.
He'd get a southern accent.
Yes.
You hear people talk with the accent,
Bro.
and then you start speaking in that accent. So, like, were you like, "Hello, governor"?
Yo,
I know that's
1000%.
British or
Like
whatever,
when you're submerged in the like in anything like that, dude. Yeah, 1000%. Like we came home with just like little things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nor, noi. No, like
fuck
just
is
the
that?
way they say sometimes they'll say shit that just doesn't like
know what I'm talking about?
noi like or no, it's like, do you want to go out for dinner? Noi. Nor. That's how nor.
So they put an R at the end of their O's.
Kind of. I'm trying to think of what else they say that's kind of weird too, but they say it's just like weird shit for sure.
Yeah, but-
Aluminium, that's one.
Yeah, aluminum. Or whatever.
Aluminium,
I think that's actually like we're the only ones who pronounce it
we
aluminum.
might be. Yeah,
I think that's actually true.
yeah, dude. It was like it was kind of just. I was over.
I just want to go on record and say that we're the only ones who say it properly. But continue.
because we're fucking number one.
We're Americans and we speak American. Clip it.
Oh, we speak
I
American.
love it.
Oh my god,
It's so dumb.
I'm trying to think of.
I just cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're.
worth it.
No, you're fine. You're fine, bro. Yeah, this tour was also, I mean, this kind of tour for me was just like interesting too because, I mean, in every way, bro, like you're getting paid, you're playing sold out shows, like people give a fuck about what's happening, and that was definitely kind of different for me. I mean, dude, I don't know. We had people who were down with Burn Book and Super American. We had fans and Well Kept Things. Obviously, we had like homies coming out, but yeah, this was super different for me, dude. Like, I don't know. We would play shows and we'd be chilling, and I don't know, man. I'm always kind of an anxious dude. You know what I mean? And
Was it Super American at that time, or was it I Can See Mountains?
It was Super American.
Really? They've
yeah.
been around that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. They've been grinding.
That's crazy. I just don't remember it being. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it has.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They really have grown into something
Special.
something really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Special.
For sure. I mean, dude, there were some nights where like I don't like always get like a lot of attention from women, but dude, like there were some nights where like just, you know, some honeys coming at me and just like I've never, you know what I mean?
You've never acted upon it.
Well, I've just never had like, you know how dudes are, right? You know how dudes are when it comes to macking on chicks.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dudes are very like when they are like very forward, it's like a lot. And like I don't know, I definitely had moments where I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now.
Right.
Like this chick definitely is.
What do I
like,
do with my hands?
What the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was kind of interesting. I went on a date
While you were there?
in Australia. Yeah.
What did you do?
We
Or
No,
what
we-
didn't you do?
we got dinner and then we went to there's this tower. It's like one of the tallest towers in the world. Like I think it's like 200 stories high or some shit like that. And it's like
Wow.
one of those buildings where you can go up to the top and like walk on like the glass floor and shit like that.
Nope. No thanks.
Yeah, it was spooky. And that was like it. We didn't like hook up or anything like that. And you know, it was cool, but it was a date for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of random.
You held hands.
Yeah, we held hands.
Oh man. It's so stupid. I'm sorry.
As you do.
It's so stupid.
No.
God, I'm so dumb.
No,
All right.
no, no. You're good.
So what? You said you had a story with Corey.
Corey Harris, our
Yes.
boy.
Shout out Corey Harris.
Yeah, dude. And I in in saying this, I also just wanted to reiterate, because last time I was here, I was talking about my first tour ever with the boy and his machine. And like the way I described it, I was like, yeah, it was hellish. It was the worst tour ever. And like after thinking about it, dude, like first of all, it wasn't hellish because we chose to do it. And like, you know what I mean? Like it could have been so much worse. It sucked because like DIY.
Yeah. Do it yourself. DIY.
DIY.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You.
DIY tours are not easy. So not necessarily hellish, but not the most fun, not the easiest. But it was fun. And it wasn't the worst tour I've ever been on. It was a good time.
To be fair, I will say I feel like the most stories come from the DIY ones because you're driving to a show that you don't know is actually going to even happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's usually when like shit pops off in
sure.
some way or another. And if it doesn't happen every time, there's always at least one point where you're like, I can't believe that happened.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
We might get a flat tire. Someone might smash our fucking window. Someone might try to steal our shit. Who knows? Anything. And last time I was here, I also had mentioned that I wasn't allowed to smoke weed. I wasn't allowed to smoke weed at all. But I remembered that I did get to smoke weed one time during that tour.
Yeah.
And it was when we stopped through in Florida and we saw Corey Harris. We stayed at Corey's house for a night or two. And that night, while...
He was still at Full Sail at the time, right?
Yeah, he was in school. Jake and I were awake. The other dudes are asleep. And we smoked with Corey. And that was the one time I smoked on that whole tour. And I remember just being so... dude, you know me, bro. I fucking love to smoke. And that was the one time I smoked on that whole 2.5 month thing. But that's not even really the Corey Harris story, bro. So before Corey went away to Full Sail, Corey and I both went to Villa Maria College together.
Same.
You did too.
I went for one semester and then I bailed out because it was a waste of money. Continue.
Oh, dude. 1,000. So Corey and I went to Villa together. And at that time, I wasn't really like doing so well. Like I was just an awful student, like just getting stoned every fucking day. And this is early on in my smoking career. Mm-hmm. Dude, like, you know what I mean? Just when you're getting stoned, it's like the dumbest shit like comes out of your mouth or whatever. So we're at school and I ran into Corey and I was like, hey, do you want to go to my car and smoke some weed? You want to smoke a bowl? Do you want to go to my mom's minivan with me to smoke a bowl?
She'll never know.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah. We go to my car and we get super fucking stoned, and then we're like, okay, like we got to go into school now. And we went to the cafeteria, and Corey's sitting there talking to one of his friends. They're just talking, and I'm standing next to him in my own world. And I stop and I say to his friend, I look at her and I say, wait a minute. Did you just say that we look like we're super high right now? And she looked at me and she was like, no, that's not what I said. And
Dude, that's so funny.
I don't know what they were talking about, like school related shit. And I was like, hold up. Did you just...
She's like, and the economic standards of blah, blah, blah. And you're like, did you just say we're really high?
Dude, exactly that. That's exactly like how it was. Oh my God, what a fucking idiot I was, dude. Like when you start smoking weed, like there has to be a way to just like monitor your early on smoking. I was smoking so much weed and just the dumbest dude I ever was.
That's great though. I love that. That's such a good story.
The first time I was here also, I don't know that you really had an established segment of your podcast where it's designated to embarrassing bathroom stories. But
okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. Zoom in right here. It's been a little while. It's everybody's favorite segment. Where did you poo?
Where did you poo? The year was 2016. No, this is after the Australia tour when we come back and we're doing the full U.S. In the bandwagon. And I don't remember where we were, but it was one of those days where, you know, the days where you're off, no show, and so you're sitting at, I don't know, wherever, Walmart or a mall. We're chilling at the mall all fucking day. And I don't know, just going into the mall, walking around, and whatever you do. Bro, I fucking... It's so fucking embarrassing. So, yeah, we were eating at the food court that day because whatever, food. This is so fucking embarrassing. Dude, so the first... And this is also probably a day where I gained a lot of awareness of, like, my body, okay? So the first thing I ate that day, it was like I went to the food court and I got Chinese food. Awesome. And then I went back to the bandwagon and I fell asleep, took a nap. I woke back up and then, you know, walked back in there and I went to Chipotle and I got a burrito bowl.
After you had just eaten Chinese food?
After I fucking ate Chinese food, bro.
Were you stoned?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I was one of those
the
things
munchies,
where I'm laying in my bunk and smoking a bowl and falling asleep.
Yeah.
So,
you can't get hot. You can't get full in those moments.
No.
Yeah.
And you're bored. Like, all you have to do is eat food. I go in there and I get Chipotle. I never had Chipotle either. That was my first time getting Chipotle. And yeah, so I get this fucking bowl and I eat it. And I do the same thing that I did last time with the Chinese food. I ate it, go back to the bunk.
Smoke a bowl and go to bed.
I smoke a bowl and I lay down and pass the fuck out. Now, dude, an hour or two later, we are in traffic. We're driving. We're moving, okay? And we are in traffic, bumper to bumper fucking traffic. I wake up and I immediately feel it. I'm panicking.
Oh, it's that you're in pain.
I wake up and I'm sweating and I'm panicking and I'm like, oh my fucking God. Dude, I'm laying in the bunk. Everybody else is kind of doing their own thing or whatever. And I look over and Brett is laying in his bunk. And as you know, on buses or bandwagons, like there's a hard rule of no shitting on those things.
No shitting on the bus.
You can't shit on the bus. Dude, I'm like, dude. I was like, Brett, I'm going to shit my pants. I was like, what do I fucking do? He was just like, I don't know, man. I'm texting my boys who are driving the fucking bandwagon. I'm like, yo, pull over anywhere. Like, just please pull off. And we're in bumper to bumper traffic. And Jeff is like, yeah, that's not happening. We're not going to be able to pull over. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No. Bro, So I did the math in my fucking head. I was like, okay, there's one way. There's only one way this is going to happen. I'm not going to be able to hold it.
Yeah.
I can't fucking hold it. So the only thing I can fucking do in my mind, on the bandwagon, there's like there's in the bathroom area, there's a shower. There's a decent sized little area. So I'm like, okay, I got to get a fucking garbage bag.
Yeah, you got to
go into the fucking bag. So I fucking slowly crawl out of my bunk, bro. And I stand there and I look down the little, like, you know, up to the front, and it's a mile away. It's so fucking far, dude. And I'm like slowly trying to get up. Dude, I'm like this, bro. Fucking just like just join as slow as I can, but with just the urgency that, like, oh, dude, just
any wrong move.
Oh my fucking God! Or if you know, if we hit a bump hard enough, that would have been it. I would have fucking just dropped it. So I'm just trying to get there. I'm like, oh God! And then I get to the front in the kitchen area where all this shit. And I grab the garbage bag. Don't tell anybody up there what's going on, because, like, I don't know, they're chilling in the lounge area.
Dude, for a moment, I thought you were gonna be like, "Don't tell anybody I told you this."
No. I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word to them, and they didn't say a word to me because I think they knew.
They knew.
They must have known. I grab. I fucking. I get the garbage bag, and then the same thing. I slowly am just like, walking to the back, and I get into the bathroom and I close it. I take off my pants. And I just get fucking Winnie the Pooh naked, you know, like no drawers, no shorts, just t-shirt. Winnie the Pooh ass. And bro, I straddled this fucking garbage bag and just fucking while we're driving
Okay.
And I just remember like I remember how humbled I was and how embarrassed I was. I was like, this is insane. I'm a grown ass man.
everybody at some point.
If that wasn't the case, if I wasn't able to get a garbage bag and wasn't able to like isolate myself from the rest of the people, I would have shat myself, dude. And it wouldn't have been fucking cute at all.
Oh man.
It would. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I retreat to my bunk, laying there, embarrassed and defeated.
Cold sweat still
I'm
coming
just
down.
like, oh God! And that's when I took the mental note of like, dude, don't ever eat these things
Chinese
back to
food and
back.
Chipotle do not go together.
Don't do that. Don't fucking eat dumb shit. That's when I was like, wow.
From a mall.
From the mall.
From a food court, dude.
Yeah. Out of boredom.
Chinese
Out of boredom, I ate
Chinese
these
food
things.
from a food court is crazy.
Come on. If you eat Chinese food from the mall, that has to be the one and only thing that you eat all day. So I'm laying there like completely defeated, and I remember our tour manager, John Wallace. He's making his way
Shout
to the
out, John.
bathroom because he needs to go and rip a pee, and I'm laying there, and I just put my arm out, and I stopped him. I was like, no. It's like, don't fucking go in there. Don't go in there, dude. Because there's a garbage bag full of my liquid shit. So I don't know. I had to just, whenever we got to the next stop or whatever, just like finding the dumpster and just throwing it in,
Yeah.
and it was never spoken of again until now.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Oh, dude, it sucked.
Just crazy, dude.
It sucked. That was, yeah.
Oh, that was a fun one. All right, I'm actually curious about this one because you've never told me about this.
Yeah, dude, and it's funny because it does kind of go hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier with, family and stuff like that. And this was, I think maybe 2012. 2012. So, and maybe you knew, maybe not, but for some of you, I don't know how do I
Just say
go? I'm sorry. So a lot of my friends know for sure that I'm adopted.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. I guess I just didn't know how to say it.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
it is what it
adopted.
is. My brother's adopted.
I was adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and I'm in. I stay in touch with my biological mother, and her name's Laura. I'm just gonna call her Laura, just so that I don't have to call her biological mother every
Yes.
time. So yeah, and like we're in touch. Like we talk every once in a while, and it's cool. She's got kids. Yeah, dude, she hit me up one year, and she was like, "Hey, listen, like, my dad is not doing so well. He doesn't have much time, and he like really wants to meet you, and like we all would love to see you and meet if you're comfortable with that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because they're super nice. If you're comfortable with that, like, would you be interested in, and like visiting?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Sorry to
No, you're-
interrupt, but leading up to this, like, how long was she a part of your life as far as like staying in touch?
Dude, I mean, my parents told me when I was like 13.
So it was really for
been a
majority
minute.
of your life.
A while, yeah.
Yeah, like a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's never been weird. You know what I mean?
Right,
Even
yeah.
like when my parents told me about it, I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
That's why I don't look like you. Okay.
Yeah. It was never a weird thing, but so she's been in the picture for a long time. And so I was like, yeah, of course, like I'll visit, whatever. Coincidentally, my uncle and aunt and cousins, they live out in Washington. I was born near Seattle, just outside of it, and so my uncle and aunt live near there, like an hour away from where we had to go to visit.
That explains why you're so good musically.
You think so?
Seattle, dude.
You know what's crazy? My Laura,
I do actually believe that too. Seattle's very special, but sorry, Laura.
dude, Laura, the dude that knocked her up was
Dad?
a musician.
You mean your dad?
He was a musician.
Your biological
My biological father.
Yeah.
He was a musician. He played guitar and stuff like that. And
Really?
Yeah. And
So it's just in your DNA.
I always thought that was kind of a cool
Yeah,
thing, man.
that's
Who
super
knows?
cool. Did you ever meet him?
No.
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 Is that because he passed or?
No, they just like, it was one of
They
the, it was
weren't.
like she got pregnant and they weren't together.
They went
He
their
like
ways,
left.
separate
and-
ways.
Yeah. So, and which is why, she was super young. So that's why it was
Right.
the thing. So anyway, I go out there and I stay with my uncle and my aunt. Dude, my uncle Larry's so cool. I get there, the first thing he gives me a weed pipe, a bag of weed. He's like, "Let me know when you need more." It was awesome, dude. Every day, him and I are smoking, and we're smoking ribs out there and like just cooking. Oh, so sick. And like, dude, Washington. I don't know if you've been out there, but Washington State is beautiful.
Beautiful. Let me tell you my favorite thing I've ever seen. This isn't gonna sound real. It's real. I swear to fucking God. This is my favorite moment I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Ever. We were on that full U.S. with the Fortune and Fame. I was driving. We weren't playing there, but we were driving through to get to California.
Yeah.
And we were along this river, and it was nothing but throughway and like wilderness. And I am not fucking kidding you. Everybody's in the back sleeping because it's like not super early, but it's early enough to where guys dozed off or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the gimmick of that tour was like everyone was like, hey, hell yeah, America, yeah, blah, bullshit. Like everybody's wearing cut off fucking jean vests, America headbands or bandanas, like just stupid shit. Like
sure.
We're not being serious. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
But I look and I see this big fucking bird swoop down, eagle.
Yeah.
And I watch this thing and it goes, boom, grabs a fish and takes off. And I was like, America! And people were like, what? I'm like, America! They're like, what? I'm like,
America.
I'm like, fucking bald eagle swooped down, grabbed a fish, and went away. That was sick. And they were like, where is he? I'm like, he was just right there. They're like, bullshit. I'm like, no, he's trying to get him. He was right there. Like, no one believes. Dude, classic. Nobody fucking believes John because everybody's sleeping. So he's just going to make something up while he's in the middle of driving.
America. Oh my gosh. I love that.
Sorry.
America.
Dude. I'm sorry. So you were
No,
saying
you're good.
Washington. It's a beautiful place.
Beautiful. And I was there for maybe like 10 days. I don't know. Just chilling with my uncle, aunt, and cousins. And so we set up the day for when I would go and meet Laura and like the fam and stuff. And they drove me out there. Dude, I was so fucking anxious. So anxious. Like, she's always been really cool to me, like my whole life that I've been in touch with her. And same with her kids, like we talk sometimes. But I was so fucking anxious, dude.
That's nerve-wracking.
Oh
Was
my
this your
God.
first time meeting them in person?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nerve-wracking.
Crazy, bro. It was fucking crazy. And while it was a nice experience, like as soon as I left, it was like a huge weight was lifted because I was just like, oh my fucking God. It was nice, but like I'm just glad we did it and it's done because holy fuck, that was hard for some reason.
How did it feel? Aside from feeling relieved, like, was it like, I have another family? Like,
well, dude, I mean, kind of, because, once I got there, we said hello, like, gave Laura a hug.
now everybody knows who
hugged
you
the
are.
kids, since I met the cousins. The dad, the dude who was not doing so hot, right? I go in there, he's sitting on his chair, and I sit down with him, and he was like, listen, if you ever need a place to go, if you ever need somewhere to go, you come here. You always have a place here. And
That's
I was
awesome.
like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
holy
that's awesome.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That actually just gave me goosebumps, dude.
Dude,
That did actually just give me goosebumps.
bro, he passed away shortly after I went and
sorry.
visited. Yeah,
That sucks.
no.
You got to meet him, though. That's awesome.
I got to meet him, but it was, yeah. And it was just so crazy, dude. I mean, like I said, I was so anxious to go. And then as soon as we left, we get in the truck and we start driving, and my uncle just like passes me the bowl. My uncle and I were just blowing down when we were there, dude. And actually, so when I got there, Laura smokes too. Everyone in Washington smokes weed. Laura gave me this brownie. It's like this big, dude.
Okay.
And it's a weed brownie. She tells me it's a weed brownie. And she's like, if you eat this thing, you should eat a quarter of it at a time.
Yeah.
Don't, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, cool. Dude, like the next fucking day, this is so doofy. The next morning, I wake up, and for breakfast,
You ate the whole brownie.
I ate the entire fucking brownie, dude.
Dude.
Ate the brownie and then went back to bed.
That seems like a pattern.
It seems like something I need to work on. I eat this fucking brownie and I go back to sleep, dude. I wake up an hour later.
You're like, where's my fucking brownie?
Bro, I wake up an hour later and I'm in a different fucking planet.
Yeah.
Yo, I wake up and I can't see. I can't see anything.
Just blurred out or just like,
No, I just
black.
like literally just black, dude. I remember trying to make my way to like the back door to go out on the back porch to smoke a hog, and I go out there and my Uncle Larry's like, "Hey, look in the sky. There goes a Seahawk," and I was like, "I'm going back inside, dude. I can't see shit." And I, what a fucking nightmare. And I'm like just spinning. You know, like when you drink too much and you're spinning, and I'm sweating. And I'm anxious, and I feel like
you're starting to panic.
I am, and I feel like I have to puke and shit and like everything. I go into the bathroom and like none of that happens. I don't shit or puke or anything. The entire day I'm just like blind and just not, didn't do anything that day.
Right. Yeah.
And since that day, like edibles have been really scary.
Dude, so you still stay in touch with her now? Like, have you seen her since?
No, I
like
haven't
in
seen
person?
her. No, I haven't seen her.
Was that the
since.
only time you saw her?
Yeah.
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 What was that like? Was it emotional? Like what?
Oh, dude, yeah, super, super emotional, and they were super nice and welcoming. I don't know, man. The whole time I felt just very like, even though they were very welcoming, I felt out of place and I felt crazy, dude. I didn't want to like let them down or anything like that, and it just felt very relieving to like go there, meet them, hang, and leave, and just like we got it done. And I was like, word, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but now there's no like I wish.
Yeah,
like I wish I would have met these people or
Yeah.
knew these people or because my brother's adopted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too in depth about it just
Yeah, that's
because
okay.
it's his
Sure.
story to tell. But my parents couldn't have kids. They were told you can't have kids.
Same for my parents. Yeah.
So they tried and tried and tried. Nothing happened. They kept having miscarriages.
Yep.
So then they adopted my brother.
And then
2 years later.
that's exactly what happened with my parents.
You really?
Yeah.
And then my parents couldn't stop having kids.
Yeah,
They had 3.
that's literally the exact same thing that happened. My parents were trying, had miscarriages, adopted me, and then had 3 boys.
But that's the thing, though. I feel like I'm not like super religious. I grew up in the church.
yeah.
So I have like Christian morals in a lot of ways, but there's a lot I disagree with. Whatever.
Amen, brother.
It's like it had to happen because you were meant to be with them.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I do. Like my brother was meant to be with our family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you were loved. You experienced it. You experienced they were excited to see you. That's awesome. That's such a cool thing that you got to experience, and like you could experience again if you ever wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like you had that moment, and it's cool too because like your parents telling you when you were young had to give you like a sense of clarity, but also like they're not hiding shit from you.
Yeah.
They were being honest with you that.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like when they told me like it wasn't weird at all. Like sometimes when people are adopted,
Right.
and it's like a weird thing. Like, oh, like why didn't they want me? I didn't feel that way at all. It was
That's good though.
and that kind of experience for me, like just taking the time to like think about the fact that I was adopted, dude. It is it's incredibly eye opening because, bro, like if my folks didn't adopt me, dude, like we would not be doing this. I wouldn't fucking know any of the people I know.
Yeah, dude.
Done any of the things I've done.
Australia you never would have shit in a garbage bag.
Wouldn't have done that. Wouldn't have done that. And who knows, dude, like since like she was younger when I was born, like who knows like what I would have been able to do. You know what I mean? So really like
This was the right path, man.
Yeah,
this was meant to happen.
it was the best thing she could have
Yeah.
done, really. And like because of it, I mean, I love her so much for it because I just, like I said, it's just eye opening, dude. Sometimes life sucks, and you just think about like, fuck, this sucks. But like, I don't know, it could have been entirely different for sure.
Yeah, that's thanks for sharing that, man. Because I don't think we've ever talked about that, and if we have, then I forgot.
It's okay.
It's been a minute.
Okay,
but
yeah.
It's that's cool. I'm glad that you got to do that.
It was cool. The other thing about it too is that like I don't know, man. I never ask about the dude. You know what I mean? My biological father or whatever. And I don't know about my heritage. Like I don't know like what I am. I know that Laura is like German and Irish.
Right.
And I just am assuming that like the dude was like Asian. And she said that
was Laura Asian?
she's not, no, but she has told
So
me
he must be.
yeah, she told me that he was an Asian
Yeah.
dude. And I never asked. I've never asked like what kind of Asian or whatever.
So you don't know if you're like Korean or
I don't know. And
Really?
honestly, like I don't know if I want to know.
Who cares?
Exactly.
It doesn't define you.
It doesn't, and even when I came back home, a bunch of my friends were like, "So did you like find out like what you are?" Because
Yeah.
I've never known.
Right.
They're like, "Did you
They're
find?"
like, we're dying to know.
Everybody wants to like, "Did you find out?" And I was like, "No." Like,
Yeah, who cares?
there's something about it being an unknown thing for me that I would rather not know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gravitate towards not knowing because the only thing like if I were in your situation, the only thing that I would care about is maybe like knowing whether or not he had or has some kind of like health issue where it's like, oh, he has this, which can be genetic kind of thing.
Did his hair fall out? You know what I'm saying? Like, did he have good hair?
That's not what matters.
Did he have good hair?
Not his
Did he
hair.
fucking-
That don't matter. You know
man.
why? It's Laura's dad. Did he have hair?
I think, yeah, he did.
You're good. It's the mother's father is usually what they say. I don't know how real that is, but my grandfather was bald as shit. So is my other brother.
Bro, it's a look. I mean, dude, I think about shaving my head all the time.
Don't do it. Don't do
I
it.
think
dude.
about it.
Listen, you wouldn't look bad, but I'm just saying, like, you have this. Just, it's rightfully there.
I'm holding on. I'm holding on as long as I can.
It's not thinning. It's not.
It is.
Now, fuck off.
It definitely is thinning on top, bro. Yeah, for sure.
I don't believe it.
Realistically, like next time I get my hair cut, it's gonna have to be a buzz. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You're gonna look handsome
It'll be
anyways. You're a
okay.
handsome stud.
It'll be okay.
Dude, I want to thank you again for coming out again. This was awesome. I know we're going to have you back on. This
Yeah.
has to happen again. This was a blast. I love this. The first time was a blast. This one was even better than the first time because we knew what we were doing. I knew what I was doing more.
Yeah.
You knew what to expect.
For
This
sure.
was awesome. I love you so much, dude. I know you have stuff to promote. I know you have some stuff you want people to follow. Hit them with it.
All right, fucking Jewel Tone, baby. We're dropping a demo. It's probably going to be out by the time this episode is out. Jewel Tone, shout out Buffalo Hardcore. Shout out Hotel Etiquette. My dude Mike Hansen has some cool shit coming up. Also, I want to shout out my girlfriend Jess is now working in her own grooming salon. Her and some of her friends, dog groomers. It's called Nothing But Fluff.
That's awesome.
Get your little homies looking right.
I might have to jump in on that.
They're great, man. They just opened up. They're doing their own thing. And
Loki could use a trim.
hey, bring them in. Bring them in. Nothing But Fluff. The other thing too, I want Thread Force, baby. I'm still doing embroidery. I'm out here doing embroidery. We're staying busy. Thread Force, literally at Thread Force on Instagram.
He does some awesome work with that. I'll make sure I link everything down below so you guys can follow that and see what he's up to with that, as well as everything else. But anything else?
That's all the plug I've got, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for having me. I love you very much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, StouryTime Pod across all platforms. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share, tell a friend. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks for sticking around and enjoying the episode.
Yo.
Bye.
Bye, bitch.